This is the Epson EcoTank ET-4850, a compact, cartridge-free all-in-one that promises low running costs and fewer headaches. My honest first impression was relief. I was expecting the usual mess and stress with setup, and it didn't happen. The box had the classic maze of blue tape, but once I peeled everything, the ink fill was the standout moment. The EcoFit bottles are keyed to each tank, so I literally couldn't put cyan in magenta even if I tried. I flipped the bottle, let gravity do the work, and the flow stopped on its own when full. No squeezing, no drips, no stained fingers. After that, the 10-minute ink charge ran its course with the usual whirring sounds while the lines primed. I used the Epson Smart Channel app to get it on Wi-Fi. The Bluetooth handoff made pairing easy. On my Windows laptop, the full driver gave me all the paper and color controls I wanted. On my Mac, I had to make sure I selected the Epson driver instead of the default AirPrint option to see the extra settings like media type and maintenance tools. From my experience, that one click matters for getting consistent color and the right paper handling. Design-wise, it wears a practical matte black shell with a tilt-up 2.4-inch color touchscreen. The screen responds fine, but it's small, so typing a long Wi-Fi password took patience. The 250-sheet front cassette fit half a ream and reduced refills in my week of tests. The output tray is the classic telescoping arm. If I forget to pull it out, pages slide off the front. The transparent ink windows on the front are surprisingly reassuring. Seeing actual ink levels beats staring at a flaky percentage bar. Key features that consistently stood out to me are the Precision Core heat-free print head, the pigment black ink for sharp text, the automatic two-sided printing, the 30-sheet ADF for multi-page scans, and the freedom of those high-capacity ink tanks. The heat-free part simply means it doesn't boil ink to spray it. It flexes tiny piezo crystals to push droplets. No heating element means lower energy draw. I measured modest power use in regular prints, and fewer thermal cycles on the head, which is good for longevity. Print quality hits the sweet spot for an office-at-home setup. Pigment black text looks crisp and holds up to a highlighter on plain paper. Colors are dye-based, so photos on glossy stock have decent pop, but this isn't a 6-ink photo rig. My charts and presentations looked clean, and casual 4x6 prints were perfectly fine for a fridge or a frame on a desk. If you're chasing deep shadow detail and gallery tones, you're shopping in a different category. The spec says up to 4800 x 1200 dpi, and it shows in fine lines and small fonts. Speed is respectable for an inkjet in this size. I saw roughly the claimed 15 ppm for black text runs and around 8 to 9 ppm for color documents. Duplex printing slows down because the page has to reverse and flip, but it's still convenient for longer PDFs. First page out felt quick, near the 9-second mark when the printer was awake. I turned on quiet mode late at night, and the motor noise dropped to a soft hum. It trades speed for peace, which I appreciate when I'm working from a small room. Scanning is the part where my enthusiasm dipped. The flatbed is sharp for IDs and odd items, and the ADF takes up to legal size. But the ADF is simplex only. When I had to capture a double-sided report, I scanned one side, flipped the stack, and used software to interleave the pages. It works, but it's manual labor. If you scan two-sided stacks every day, this will slow you down. The optical resolution is good for paperwork, and I hit about 5 images per minute through the ADF, which matched expectations. Connectivity was a mix. It supports Ethernet, Wi-Fi on 2.4 GHz, Wi-Fi Direct, USB, Apple AirPrint, Mopria, and Epson's own cloud tools. I ran into a quirk where, after a long idle, Wi-Fi would show the printer as offline instead of waking up. Power cycling fixed it, but I don't want to babysit a printer. Plugging in Ethernet solved it permanently for me, and assigning a static IP helped on another network I tried. If you can, wire it. If you can't, at least lock a fixed IP on your router, and you'll likely be fine. Let's talk cost, because that's the headline. The included bottles are marketed as up to 2 years of typical printing. Replacement bottles are inexpensive per page compared to cartridges, with yields up to 7,500 pages black and 6,000 pages color. In my opinion, this is the real reason to buy the ET-458. I printed freely without that little voice calculating how many pennies each page costs. I also like that there's less plastic waste and that the maintenance box is replaceable, so I'm not throwing away a machine just because the waste pad is full. Paper handling was solid. The main tray took everything from plain copy paper to premium matte and glossy. It can print borderless photos, and it supports auto duplex on letter and A4. Heavier cardstock made the tight paper path work a bit, but feeding one sheet at a time with the correct media setting got me through a small batch of invites. The maximum media size I used was legal. It handled that without a fuss. From my experience, the ET-4850 shines as a dependable document hub. It prints sharp text, chews through long reports with duplex, and keeps costs low month after month. The small touchscreen and the lack of duplex scanning are the two friction points I noticed most. The Wi-Fi sleep quirk exists, but Ethernet made it a non-issue for me. The build is mostly lightweight plastic, but nothing felt fragile in normal use. I carried it around easily at about 15 pounds, and it fit neatly on a standard shelf thanks to the compact footprint. It's perfect for a home office, remote work, classrooms, or a household that prints a steady stream of forms, homework, invoices, and reference material. If you live inside spreadsheets and PDFs and want your printer to just work without draining your budget, this is a great fit. If your day involves scanning piles of double-sided documents, or you want pro-level photo output, I'd steer you to a model with a duplex ADF or a dedicated photo printer. I'd recommend this for anyone printing around a few hundred pages a month who values low running costs, clear text, and simple upkeep. Keep it active with a weekly page or two to avoid nozzle clogs. Run a nozzle check if output looks faint, and use the right media setting for the paper you load. Connect via Ethernet if you can, and use the Epson driver on Mac instead of generic AirPrint to unlock all options. In conclusion, the Epson EcoTank ET-4850 does exactly what I wanted: reliable, low-cost prints with minimal fuss. It's not flashy, but it's steady, efficient, and easy to live with. The ink system removes the constant worry about supplies, the text quality is excellent, and the overall experience feels thoughtfully designed for a modern home office. If those are your priorities, it's an easy yes. I will post full information about the Epson EcoTank ET-4850 in the comments section. See you in the following videos.